Hello everyone, welcome. Today I wanted to discuss Life is Strange Double Exposure. I've played it twice by now, so it's safe to say I've got everything figured out for the most part at least. That being said, let's get into my review. This game surprised me, to be honest. I tried to have no expectations after what we got with True Colors, and I have to say, I could see the improvements on various areas. To start off with, I'm gonna go through what I liked and what I disliked about this game. So first, let's jump into the things Double Exposure got right. Hannah Telle gave an amazing performance as Max Caulfield. Not that she didn't shine in the first Life is Strange, it's just the fact that fans waited years to hear her again as Max, and that she genuinely put her back into the game adds more to the appeal of Max. The facial expressions are like never before. This added a lot of depth to Max's character besides the expansion of her story and the phenomenal acting performances. The design of the game is awesome and well done. If you're a fan of Life is Strange, whenever someone asks the why, you won't necessarily start the explanation with how great the games look. Even though True Colors improved the looks, this time they really showed players what it means to provide a both aesthetically and visually beautiful game. The music scores are beautiful and fitting as well. Probably my second favorite after the original Life is Strange. The dialogue options and choices are good and fun. The conversations are smooth and funny as well. A huge upgrade is that it's almost like you can't give a terrible answer. If you choose one that normally you wouldn't, you are often left amazed how masterfully they wrote it in actual dialogue, so that it wouldn't sound bad, more like different. The first 3 chapters have some of the best moments in any Life is Strange or even gaming lately. The second half of chapter 2 and the first half of 3 is mind-blowingly good. Caledon University is another memorable location. Just look at these shots, they speak for themselves. The characters are mostly great and interesting, even the side characters. The camera and the journal are 2 cool aspects of the game. Another great addition was that now you can reply to the messages you get. I found this to be a great way to interact with the characters rather than just talking to them. Max's new power is mostly fun. I like the timeline shifting, apart from when you have to shift in the turtle multiple times in a row. You need to go back to the shifting spot all the time, which sometimes feel tiring. I really enjoyed the callbacks, there were plenty. There are some very well done ones, beside the ones that weren't necessary. I also appreciate the details, the foreshadowings and the poetry they put into this. I love the dark theme and all the twists and turns it offered. Now, after all these applause, I have some rather unpleasant experiences as well. Let's get into that. The first huge disappointment is that this didn't serve as a great continuation of the first game. It had great connections and dialogue options referring to LIS1, but it failed without any Chloe flashbacks or concrete follow-ups, not to mention some of the poor choices. It's understandable though, they didn't have it easy, but unfortunately they couldn't make it right. to state this was both a great game and a great sequel. The story was way too complicated. I had to pause multiple times to get a better understanding. Even in chapter 4 and 5, when everything should have been clear, I could make sense most of it, but it shouldn't have been this hard. I do not consider myself to be dumb, neither a lot of YouTubers I saw playing with a lot of confusion. Another beef I had with the game is that there were too many ideas copied from the first game. Sometimes I felt like Double Exposure couldn't figure out if it wanted to be a close follow-up that copied most of the scheme of Elias 1, or a fresh new story that had little attachment to the OG game. The final 2 chapters started to fall apart a bit. At the end of chapter 4, I started having some issues, which unfortunately followed through chapter 5 as well. While the chapters were mostly good, they had questionable choices, missed opportunities, and an ending I wasn't a fan of. The romance options were terrible, and the choices did not matter enough. I guess that is a criticism as well, even though this isn't really my biggest issue. One of my biggest issues is that the ending did not stick the landing overall. For example, they butchered Safi, and the tornado wasn't built up properly. It was an unnecessary copy of the first game. If you repeat it, sure, but do a better job. In my view, asteroids would have been a better addition. They were mentioned during the earlier chapters as well. Moreover, I didn't like the conclusion too much. It should have left us with a banger for the end, instead of with the people that have superpowers gathering now with Safi as their leader. Not too bad, but this ending didn't fit Max's character. You can't ignore Chloe and Arcadia Bay. Yes, there were cool mentions, but that is Max's life, not something that she'd moved on from. Especially if Chloe was alive. That's all I wanted to say for now. Thank you for watching and stay safe.